State Film Festival, and here with me today I have director-writer Alessandro Gentile of the film Lodo. Alessandro, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So, Alessandro, you directed and wrote Lodo. Would you like to give our live viewers a tidbit about this film?
Yeah, definitely. Lodo was a short story my aunt wrote back like 6 years ago, and it's about a boy who enters a forbidden cemetery and gets haunted by the mud of a cemetery. And a series of supernatural events occur, and he reconnects with his deceased mother's spirit in kind of like weird circumstances. And the film is about family, it's about community, it's also about the Mexican culture, really, too. So, and it has a really deep connection in my heart. My mom's from Guadalajara, from Mexico, and I was born here in the States. But I just have a really deep connection with that story, and just telling and just keeping traditions alive. So, and that's a little bit about the film itself. Yeah.
So you're
I
saying, oh, sorry, no, keep going, keep going.
No, you go.
Well, I was gonna say, so your aunt wrote this.
She wrote the short story, and then from there, my producing partner Maritza De La Torre and myself sat down and fleshed it out into a narrative. And it took some time, and finally in 2018, we had a script that we were both happy with, and pretty much embellished, what was there, because it just reads like a short story. And so we had to throw in dialogue and have some sort of story arcs for the characters. And we finally felt like it was at a place where we wanted to pursue it. And then, of course, 2019, we kind of ironed out all the kinks in that. And then we decided to shoot it during the pandemic, which is the
Wait,
worst time. Yeah,
you
worst
filmed,
imaginable time. Yeah.
you filmed during the pandemic.
Exactly. Yeah. So we had to go through all that protocol, and it was really, really difficult. Yeah. But
So when exactly during the pandemic did you film?
yeah, so it was October, I believe, 2021, I believe. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's kind of like right when it sort of opened up, and it was, but there were still a lot of regulations through SAG, and and so we just had to follow everything. We had to have a COVID supervisor on set and do the testing, and it was very difficult to do. And we had kids, and so we had the teachers and things that we had to abide by. But in the end, the film gods were on our side, and we were able to kind of like push through and get everything we needed shot and in the can. And then we just took our time in post, because we wanted to make sure we showed this live on the big screen.
Mhm.
So we didn't have that pressure. We didn't want to put that much pressure on post, to where, like, we'll be showing like on small screens, across the US, and it just kind of takes away from your love for filmmaking, right? Seeing, hearing and seeing people's reactions to your film on the big screen, and seeing your work up there. And we had a wonderful cast. We had Laura Patalano, who's on This Fool on Hulu, and other shows, and Daniel Mora, phenomenal actors. And we introduced Jaden Enamorado. He's a small boy who plays the lead role in this piece, and first time acting, and it was very difficult to coach him and rehearse online and get him ready for the role. But all these things played in part, and I think it was part of the beauty of filmmaking, right? If things are too easy, then it's just like, I don't know. It just kind of takes away from creating and kind of being the reward of finalizing and realizing your project. So it was nice to have those challenges and kind of like navigate through, and like little chess pieces. So.
I mean, as human beings, I feel like in everything we do, it's more fun when we're posed with some form of a challenge. So, like with that, what is it that you want your audience to take from Lodo?
I think I want them to really dig deep and really ask themselves the question, is like, am I being a loving enough person now that I'm alive than, with the people that you love. Really, it's like, you being the best person you can be with the people that are around you that love you, that are here now. What if like tomorrow they're not there? What if they're gone, and you didn't have the chance to like tell them you love them, or you didn't have the chance to just share stories, or rekindle things, or even spend those last moments with them. That's what I would love people to leave with this film, because it really has you question those things in yourself. And it's really nice to have people's reactions, to where it's like, okay, like, again, we lost people during the pandemic. I lost my father-in-law, and my producing partner lost, her brother at a very young age. And it was kind of like, they're dedicated in the film, and they're part of this piece. And so it's really, taking home with you, like, you the best person you could be with the people around you that you love, and that's, it's a really deep thing to think about. It's a deep film, in that sense. But I don't know, I'm curious to see what other people, take away from it.
I mean, that's a beautiful message. And it's also, yes, it's like almost a deep psychological message that could break
Mm,
through to a lot of people who could be struggling at the time. So,
exactly.
like you said that to me right now, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna text my sister and just let her know that I love her real quick. You know what I mean?
I know,
That
like things like that, like just, it could be, a father or mom or relative or something, just like we all have, like, everyone's different, we have, our family things. But
yeah,
it's, that aside is like, would you regret not telling that person you love them, or did you, or did whatever? Did you have those moments that you needed to have? And life's too short.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, you've had quite the team helping you out with this film in different roles. How is it that you came to acquire the team that you were working with for this film?
Yeah, so like during that time when we like, from that short story that 6 years ago and to the present, my producing partner, Marita de la Torre, who actually also plays the mother in the film. She's a great actress, and she was a producer on this and the co-writer. And she, we started a film festival locally here in Los Angeles, the Highland Park Independent Film Festival. I just stepped down this last year, but she's still running it with our other co-founder. And we realized that, like, it's, it's something that, we wanted to put together the best team possible. And luckily that hub that we created for ourselves, which wasn't really the plan to actually, use it as a networking tool. We just kind of like, hey, let's do this for the community. And but that's where I met like our DP, Jeff Dolan, who shot McMillions, and a bunch of other films that have gone to Sundance, and other projects that he's done with Apple and HBO. Excuse me. And he agreed to do it just because, the relationship we had during the years of the festival, and showcasing some of his films. And then Maritza met Laura back like 6 years ago when she had just moved to Los Angeles. They both had just moved to Los Angeles. And when we talked about doing this project, or kind of like fleshing it out into some sort of a project, she talked with Laura, at an event, and kind of qualified her. And she was like, "Oh yeah," and she always remembered that. She was like, "Wow, like, what's up with this project? What's up with this project?" Every like 3 years or 2 years, whatever, would go by, and she kind of nudge it and stuff. And it was kind of nice that she always remembered us, and wanted to always be part of it. And she did a phenomenal job. And she's, again, you can catch her on Hulu doing season 2 of This Fools. And and the boy was a big kicker. That one was like, we knew if we didn't have this like lead boy, that's make or break of the film. And it was really important to find that boy. And we met again through the film festival, Operation Street Kids. And these guys, what they do is they take, troubled youth, or any sort of like Latino youth, and put them in like, film productions, as far as crew or acting or cast. And I reached out to them. I'm like, hey, listen, like, I've been doing the casting stuff, and like we're getting kids, or like, Nickelodeon too, like, they can't speak Spanish well, like, but they're too cute, and they're too, like, I don't know, that just doesn't fit the role, and or they're like Filipino trying to speak Spanish, and I'm like, no, it's just not working. And so he threw a few kids our way, and Jaden was one of them, and Jaden just like stood out, like, just, it was crazy how natural he was in first movie ever. And but then we have to pair him up with, kind of this character that's like very I want to say like Home Alone. You remember the neighbor in Home Alone, where it's like, the old man that's kind of like, questionable, like kind of
Yeah.
a.
Yeah.
So that's where Daniel Mora comes in, and Daniel Mora, again, met through the festival. It was really cool, and he, I approached him, and I'm like, these are names that, like, they're very well known and very respected in the Latino community here in Los Angeles and just throughout. They're amazing actors. And I'm like, kind of like nervous to like ask them, hey, I don't have a big budget, but would you want to do this? And he agreed to do it, and he played that role very beautifully. It was very, kind of like ominous in the beginning, and then at the very end, just delivers a very beautiful message to the boy, and kind of like plays like this father role that he like never had, right, to this boy. So once you see the film, you'll get what I'm talking about. Please watch it. It's when is it playing? It's showing Saturday, March 25th, block JS 33 at 12:15 p.m. So don't miss it.
So how long have you been in LA?
Yeah, my whole life. I mean, so up until high school, and I was like an avid tennis player when I was a kid. I was like top junior tennis player here in Southern California, and so my ticket out was, going to college, of course. I got a scholarship to go to college, and I chose to go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo at first to study, business and whatnot. And then decided I didn't want to kind of be in that world, and so I transferred to Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara, and I studied film there, which was great, and played tennis. It was like the best of both worlds. Was playing tennis and watching Fellini. Like, what, it's like the best. It's like the best. I just missed college. And then from there, like, moved up to the Bay Area for a little bit, and kind of did, I was a line producer, production manager, blah, 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 learning how to do stuff. And then just picked up a camera, started shooting, learning how to, use a camera, and was doing documentaries. I did a documentary at Burning Man when I was really young, and then just was shooting music videos and just learning how to use a camera. And then in 2003, I shot as a DP, my first feature film. And then I've been working as a DP since, that's kind of my day job. But in the last 5 years, I've been transitioning into directing, and this is like my directorial debut, Lodo. And I just finished shooting my second film. It's called Della. Della is it's about a boxing film, a female boxing movie about two sisters, strange sisters that come together at the wrong time, and they have some things to sort out as siblings. And so that's in post right now. But it's I've been in California my whole life. I haven't been able to leave. I mean, I've lived in like, Europe for a little bit of time here and there, but yeah, I can't leave California. Even though right now it's freaking freezing, like hailing like little pebbles, but it's still like what?
So anyway. This is your directorial debut. Yeah. So what would you say was an obstacle then that you ran into with this being your first director?
Well, I think the main thing was the main one was trying to find the boy, because that was literally, we found him literally like a month and a half before filming, which is pretty stressful considering all the things that go into place. And then like once you're committed, right? Like insurance and all that stuff. And so that was one of the biggest challenges. The second was just, well, that's why it was great to have such a good team, I, being a DP, I could have shot it and I could have, directed and all that, but I've always wanted to kind of just like step away from that so I could just focus on the actors. And so just having, and this is an upside, right? Having Jeff on as part of the team as the cinematographer, was great because I could just like focus on the actors and not have to worry about lighting or like composition, even though we worked on the composition together. But it was still like I didn't have to like worry about that, because I feel like you're focusing on one thing or the other. It's hard to kind of mesh them both together. Um, but I think the most challenging was that, and also just like COVID, it was a big problem. Like we had to cancel the cemetery filming like twice.
Mhm.
One was because of weather, and then the other one was because our boy got sick. He tested positive, and we just couldn't do that. We had older actors, and we just couldn't take that risk. So luckily, we made it without anybody getting sick on our clock, which was great. I mean, like while we were filming, so that was a upside to that. But yeah, the challenges were that, and also just like I think music composition was a big one in post. Trying to find that person that really could give it that touch. And Ivan Karames is somebody that's just extremely talented. He now lives in Spain, and so we're kind of corresponding in Spain to here, and the time difference, and trying to work it all out. But he's graduate from Cal Arts, and when we met him 6 years ago, when we all met on this working on this other project that ended up going to Cannes Film Festival. It's called Cannes at Dawn, and winning awards and stuff. And that's what kind of sparked, like Marita and I met on that set, and he actually did the score for that. And we went back to him because we were trying to kind of get this like Texas vibe, and so we're trying to find a new person in Texas that kind of give it that vibe. But we went back to our roots. We went back to the guy that helped us out in the beginning, and he just nailed it. It's so beautifully scored, and you really feel the emotions of the stories. The boy and the grandmother, and then the spirits, and he really brings all that out. It was really well done.
I mean, like that's like because this being the first time that you directed, that's you had like to jump through hoops essentially, especially with COVID, and then with like the other, like it's good that you have like some of these people that you just because it sounds like you've had like a pretty like wide background, like a good like amount of experience in this field.
Mm.
And as much as I would love to keep asking you about it, unfortunately, we're just about at time. But Alessandro, are you going to be coming to the film festival in New Jersey, do you think?
Yes, I'm working out the tickets right now, so I'm trying to sort that out, and also get a little filming in New York. So I'm trying to get it all dialed in. But yeah, I'm hoping to roll and hang out with you guys. Yeah, I want to hang out in Jersey. I haven't been in Jersey. Yeah, go check it out.
Well, I so look forward to meeting you in person. And
Awesome.
you guys, you can all see Lodo on Saturday, March 25th at the Jersey Shore Arts Center from 12:15 p.m. to 2 p.m. And you can buy your tickets at the Garden State Film Festival, gsff.org/tickets. Alessandro, it's been such a pleasure talking to you today. And I look forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you. And please find us on socials at Lodo Short Film. So at Lodo Short Film. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys in Jersey at the Garden Film Festival. Thanks. Bye.